What is going on, guys? I'm trying out a new format this week. Obviously, you're not reading. I'm trying out my first vlog. Hopefully sound quality is okay. It's a little echoey in my place due to the tile flooring. But yeah, I'm going to go over the Maffetone Method. I just finished up a 2-week period with essentially 0 carbs. It's kind of a trial period leading into the Maffetone Method. This is something I first heard about from a book called Natural Born Heroes by Chris McDougall. He also wrote Born to Run, perhaps you heard of. And so I like to think of Maffetone as kind of, I would compare it with like a paleo, or it's kind of a style of eating, not just, the 2-week test isn't it. But, so the 2-week test is kind of an initiation, and I say initiation because it kind of feels like an initiation. Trying to cut down to 0 carbs is extremely challenging. You start realizing how much sugar and stuff is added into everything, and not to mention, of course, fructose is in fruit, so you can't have fruit. It's a good learning experience, and definitely I got very creative within the parameters of what I could eat. Deviled eggs became a go-to, tuna, and you have to go with a certain kind of mayonnaise, because one thing I learned is that on a label, you can put 0 grams of sugar on the nutrition facts and then put sugar in the ingredients, which to me seems like you'd have to put less than 1 gram on the nutrition facts, but I guess not. So another part of this, aside from just diet, is heart rate. The formula to follow is 180 minus your age, and there's a little fine tune of like plus or minus 10 beats. 5 to 10 beats, depending on fitness level or injury or sickness you might be coming out of. But you stay in the fat burning zone essentially. So if you're doing any exercise, you can't elevate your pulse above, for me, what was 150. And it is extremely challenging. I like to consider myself not in terrible shape, and just holding a slow jog was pushing the limits of reaching my max heart rate for this 2-week test period. Another piece on the whole eating portion, I learned a lot about myself during this period, as it requires a lot of willpower. And one of the most challenging pieces was social events. So 0 carbs, so beans, rice, dessert menus don't exist. Going out with friends, you get invited for a beer. Some of the Midland Fit group this last weekend, we did a little barbecue pool party deal, and it's extremely challenging. It's almost like you need to set out for that 2 weeks. You need to set out. You're not going to do a whole lot, and exercise, even your energy levels. Like, you read about it as I was digging into some of the forums and stuff, and you hear, your energy level is going to drop through not having carbs, and days 1 through 7 were definitely challenging. In fact, I was having like food fantasies, and planned out with Shane and my girlfriend a kind of a food bash that we did last night at the end of everything. And I reached a point though where, when I read about it in the book, I didn't think was going to happen, especially after feeling how I was the first several days. To where he explained toward the end of it, he actually started not having the cravings where pizza or donuts or whatever weren't sounding that great. And I thought there was no way I'd reach that point. But I think I'd say day 12, I actually got to the point where we carried through with our food bash, but it was almost more of a mental relief. Like, we're so conditioned that we like these foods, and who doesn't love pizza? But yeah, it was just more of a mental relief going to like a movie theater, even if you don't like maybe popcorn, candy, or soda that much, but going in knowing you can't have any of it, even if you wanted to. Just kind of removing your option almost makes it a little more difficult. I don't typically go by scale weight, but I did lose about 8 pounds over the course of 2 weeks. I was about 214. And let's see, yesterday I stepped on the scale at 205, so I guess 9 pounds actually, roughly. But a lot of water weight, I figure. I did not do any body fat testing or any measurements, which when I go through this again, I will. So that's kind of my experience of the 2 weeks. I do recommend it. If you can, I mean, it's really rewarding when you come out the end of it if you can really stick with it. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I will do another vlog coming up soon. If you have any questions, leave them below. Until the next time, see you at the top.